Bom dia, caros colegas. Nós vamos aguardar mais 5 ou 10 minutos para ver se chegam mais colegas. E, entretanto, também um dos nossos parceiros teve um problema no centro da cidade. Penso que houve um incêndio e os carros estão todos parados. Há um problema no trânsito e eles estão bloqueados. Pelo que 10 minutos acho que vão para nós ser muito úteis. Eu queria dizer-vos que para hoje nós temos aqui umas pequenas alterações, como sempre e como é normal. Nós vamos ter os grupos de discussão às 10 horas e depois às 11h15 vamos ter o café. Portanto, a pausa para café logo imediatamente após os grupos de discussão. A seguir temos uma mesa que será desenvolvida pela doutora Iva e que será coordenada pelo colega Tim Duffy. Depois, há aqui um ponto que vocês repararam, onde está a coordenadora de projeto, que por acaso ficou. Nós fizemos alterações, mas por acaso, por lapso ficou, é para retirar. Portanto, como ela não está, já foi dito que ela está doente, não veio, é para retirar. Por fim, eu e a doutora Karen faremos as conclusões finais. Eu queria-vos pedir, portanto, em relação ao programa é isto, eu queria-vos perguntar se toda a gente já se inscreveu para os grupos, se está toda a gente inscrita. Vão ser grupos interessantes, discussões muito leves, muito relacionadas com o nosso contexto, para podermos trocar impressões. Portanto, é só isso que se pretende das grupos de discussão. Está bem? Alguém me quer pôr alguma questão em português? Pronto, então eu vou retirar-me daqui para deixar os colegas. Encontramos depois no café.
No. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us again this morning. My name's Karen Watchman and I'm from University of the West of Scotland. And this morning we'd like to give you a demonstration of our community of practice. So it's myself will introduce the session and then my colleague Leslie Hamilton will talk you through the process of actually joining yourself and understanding more about how you can contribute to and how you can benefit from our Palliare community of practice. So this morning we'll just quickly recap what we mean by community of practice that we touched on yesterday, find out what the Palliare community of practice is, and then share information with you. So participatory exercise. We encourage you to join during the session. So just to recap, that the virtual community of practice we've developed in the Palliare project consists of a collective learning area in a shared environment, but more than just a website. So our domain is the advanced dementia focus and area of interest. We also look at the community, so we invite and we welcome individuals who share a concern or a passion about advanced dementia and would like to work collaboratively with others to do it better. And the practice element, we're looking at you being able to share practice, share resources, and share your experiences and the tools that have benefited you in practice. So that's our community of practice. And now Leslie will take you through more information about and actually show you what the community of practice looks like. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. To begin with, we just have a few PowerPoint slides with some screenshots just to try and set the scene before we go onto the web browser and look at the live site. The community of practice site has been designed in such a way that it follows kind of rule of thumb website design in a way. And in this slide, you can see that it looks typical of a home page of any regular website. At the top of the page, we have a menu, just up at the top. Within the web page, there are links, just over here. So we've got links to what we consider to be the priority areas within the Community of Practice website. But not only that, over on the right-hand side down here, we've got additional functionality which we hope will lend itself to making the site much more live than just some static web pages. We have the latest news at the top of the right-hand column, and down towards the bottom we have functions that allow you to search the website, as well as what the latest blog update is, as well as our Twitter, our social media feeds into the site. The menu itself is mostly flat, but there are two menu items, the Community of Practice and the About menu items, that contain sub-pages. And this is where most of the resources, information about the Community of Practice, support pages are to be found. So under the Community of Practice, we have at the top the general forum. But of course, if we go back just to here, we can also access the general forum straight away using the tile. In addition to that, we can access the own language pages via the sub-menu. Here we've got our own language pages, which leads on to the actual discussion forums as well. And of course, under the About menu item, we've got options for resources and links, and importantly, the support pages. Also on the menu is the option to log in and register. So if you haven't used the site before, then you will need to register should you wish to participate in the site. The site itself is open to all. You don't actually need to be registered on the site to access or view the resources and review the discussion forums. However, should you want to connect with friends on the site and post to the discussion forum, then you will need to register to do so. Registration is fairly straightforward. By clicking the link, it brings up a create an account form, and we'll demonstrate this shortly. Within that create an account form, you then supply a username, your name, an email address, and you have to pick a password. There is an indicator to indicate whether your password is weak or strong. I would always try and advise you to choose a password that is strong in order to ensure the security of your information and the security of the website itself. Okay. Having said that though, once you have decided what your username is and your password, please don't forget that. If you do forget it though, it's not the end of, it's not a catastrophe. There is an option to retrieve your password should you need to do so. So once you've completed the create an account form, the system then sends you an email, and you click the link within that email just to authenticate that you do actually exist, that you're real. And once that happens, your account is activated, and you can then log into the site and contribute as a member of the Community of Practice. Right, so what I'm going to do now is go to the live site. Right. Okay.
please.
That's fine. I'll start from there. Okay, right. I have a few websites open just to enable us to demonstrate all the steps involved. If you have a device with you at this time, then I invite you to follow along, should you wish to. However, at any time, when you come to the Demência Palliare site, under the support area, there is the member's handbook, and the member's handbook has illustrated step-by-step guides to show you the process. So at the end of the session, or tomorrow, whenever you wish to register on the site, then this is where you would come to help gain the support to register. So if I just go back to the home page, or the Community of Practice page, as you can see, I'm not logged in, and at the moment I'm not registered, and you can peruse, just to prove that you can peruse the website, the Community of Practice, without actually being a member. So you can have a look at the pages and view them and see the documents associated with the project. And you'll also notice that documents are either labelled as being English language or the particular own language within the site. Right. So all of these images on the Community of Practice homepage are clickable. So if I wish to go to the general forum, just click on the image and it loads the forum. And down here we've got the discussion forums, and as you can see there's various topics being discussed right now, and you can read those topics as well. However, in order to be part of the conversation, you need to log into the site. So at this point then, we would ask you to register on the site. So you click the register menu item, and then you would complete the create an account details. So a username required. Anything, I suppose, that you can remember, but also choose a username that is professional, rather than jokish. So Leslie Hamilton. It is a public website, as you saw. Anyone can peruse the website. So again, information that you provide is open to a certain degree for people to see. So I would put in my, it's Alt 3, Alt 4. There you go. No. There we go.
Okay.
I found the @ symbol. So you would insert your username, or choose a username, add your profile detail name, choose a password, confirm your password, and then click the I am not a robot captcha box, and then just to complete the sign up, you click the complete the sign up icon button. And what happens is, if I go to my internet mail account, then we get this type of email where we have the hyperlink that you click. And when you click that hyperlink, that's all right, because I've already done this previously, so it's recognised the fact that I've already registered. But what it would do there is just confirm that you have completed the registration and tell you that you can now log in. So if I come back to here and I just go to the login page, which one? Right, so the login page is very generic. It's a WordPress login page. So, right, keyboard, to do hyphen, looking for a hyphen.
Sorry?
Oh, there it is, found it.
Different, okay.
Sorry, keyboard's different from what I'm used to. Apologies. Now I've created an account using my University of the West of Scotland student information. So yes. South. Oh. Right. Yes.
Yep.
Hmm. B 176 5 there. Oops. Sorry, folks. I haven't forgotten my password. I've just, I think, using the wrong key on the keyboard. Yep, that one. Right. Yay. Phew. It's always a relief. Okay, now that I've logged in, really what I can see is not anything different from what you saw having not logged in, but what I can do is can participate in the website. Now, what I want to do, oh, I didn't log in. Oh, there we go. Right.
You make login.
Yeah.
You are in session with your name.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Right, so one of the first things that I would always ask you to do is to have, can't see this particularly well, but is go to your profile. So once you've logged in at the top, the website will ask you, how are you? And then followed by your username. So what I would ask you to do is edit your profile. Just check your profile and check that your details are correct. Oops, right. Okay. This isn't behaving the way it should be. Right, so edit my profile. Okay. Right, so what I wanted to show you is how to upload your profile picture. So within edit
Not
profile,
Not here, dashboard. No.
no, it's interesting. Right, so no. Crikey. Apologies. I don't seem to. Right. I'm having some technical difficulties.
So, Leslie, I think what you're showing us is that we can view the community of practice without needing to join it.
Yes.
But actually, to be able to contribute to it and add to it, we need to enrol and become members. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. By registering on the site, you become a participant on the site, which means you can go to the forums and participate on that site. And to do that, at first, you need to join the forum. So once you've logged in, we have, here I am in the Community of Practice General Forum, and there's a button here that says Join Group. So once you join the group, you can then view the forum site, and as you can see, the point of view is quite different from what it is when you're not logged in. Now you can see all of the posts, but in addition to that, you can comment on the posts, and you can also, if we go to the forum,
And I can see we had some registration and enrolments yesterday. I see Justine enrolled yesterday. Thank you very much. And participated and contributed. And also, Leslie, you mentioned that there's a handbook to help new users. Is this available in different languages?
yes, it is. If you navigate to your own language pages and go to the resources page for the language, then the handbooks are there for members in the particular language that you are looking to utilise the community of practice in. So here's the Spanish site. The members' handbook, Espanol, and the handbooks have been published as portable document format, PDF documents, which should, I hope, enable ease of use. So if you're not a Microsoft Office user, then PDF option can be read across different devices.
Thank you. Could I ask, does anyone have any questions about the community of practice? That's been a very helpful overview from Leslie there. Feel free to come and ask us if you'd like help to join the community of practice while you're still here. Okay.
Yeah?
Good.
Is there any questions just now?
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Leslie. Thank you.
Right.
Rhoda is next up, I think.
Thank you.
We'll just be 5 minutes while we change the slide. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Can everybody hear me okay? Hi. Nice to see you all again today, bright and early. I'm just going to run through the modules that we've been developing. They're not all completely developed just yet, but we're on the way to getting them designed. So, as you heard yesterday, we've been really busy doing lots of things, case studies and literature reviews and policy reviews. And these form the basis of these 4 modules that you started to hear a little bit about yesterday. So each of the partner countries have been working with us to develop these. They've been leading on each of the modules, as you can see here. And they're all very much about using some of the approaches that you've got in the best practice statement in your packs. So the positive practice model is centred around these principles. So recognising as people move through their journey with dementia, they have increasing complexity of healthcare needs. And it's very much a holistic, practice-based approach that is talked about in the modules, and the modules are promoting. So this undergraduate module will be very much focused on living well, planned care, communication, and person-centred caregiving. The first of the postgraduate modules is about rights, risks and ethics. So, as I mentioned yesterday, it's very much based on a rights-based approach to care. And Amy mentioned yesterday about how a lot of the policies in Scotland come from a human rights-based approach. And this follows through in this module. So this module will ask students to consider positive risk-taking, some of the ethical dilemmas associated with advanced dementia care, and relationship-centred philosophies of care. The second postgraduate module is contemporary practice, and our Spanish team are leading on this one. So this is very much looking at the complexity of advanced dementia care, and you can see some of the themes coming through from the literature here and from the educational gap analysis. So in this module we're going to use the case studies, and they're going to be integrated into the module. So students will be able to look at content, then look at a case study and start to think about the different perspectives of advanced dementia care. So they may be asked to look at one of the case studies and think, well, what would this be like from the perspective of a family carer? Or what would this be like for the person experiencing and living with this advanced dementia? And they'll be asked to work through some issues. They'll also be asked to think about that and linking it to some of the dementia strategies and legislation in that particular country. So they really are going to be getting an interprofessional focus and thinking about interprofessional values and getting a taste for what the experience of advanced dementia may be like in the different countries. And the last postgraduate module is achieving change. And I'm going to demonstrate this a little bit. We've managed to develop it to a point that we've got some of the content up in Moodle, and I'm going to talk you through some of that in just a moment. So this module is really very much about experiential learning, and we've heard a little bit from Karen about experiential learning. We did, Wilson led on some work around, well, what does the experiential learning mean? What is that? What does that look like? So it's very much about getting the students to reflect and think about what they're doing while they're learning, and then do something about that. So it's, we'll be using the best practice statement quite a lot in this module, and asking students to work through some of the issues in there, and you're going to be doing this after the break actually a little bit, to start to think about how they can prepare for change and implement change in their care setting. So it's very much about helping students to say, okay, we have a need here, we've got an identified need. How do I, as a practitioner, plan for some change and work with my staff, work with my colleagues, work with the families of the people with dementia and the people with dementia themselves to introduce some improvement. So there's quite a lot of improvement methodology in this module to equip students how to plan, prepare and implement change and really champion change in advanced dementia care. So I'm going to show you how a module will look in Moodle. Would you mind?
I have to open your web browser.
Yes.
Okay. I close them. Your access.
Sorry?
You want to show
You closed them?
the
The UWS site?
this?
No. Yeah.
You have to access
Mm-hmm.
here. Username, password.
Okay. Here we are. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so maybe some of you are familiar with Moodle. It may be a platform that you already use in your university. It's quite widely used. I think it is used here, maybe. This is the UWS Moodle site, and you can see across the banner, you can see some of the same themes from the community of practice. So students will be able to go into the community of practice from their Moodle site, and you can see the banner across the top there. And the resources, so they can, the module resources, and there's RS feeds down the side. And the RS feed that is prominent here is the dementia journal. So that's about helping students to link to literature straight away, and that will be one of the main journals that they use and access in this module. So welcome to the module, and that's my good self there, and I'll be introducing the module, and there'll be a little video link to introduce the students to the module, who their teachers are, how things work, what personal support they can get, how the module's laid out. And there's a welcome forum. So we're inviting students straight away to engage with the module and register and start talking to one another. So the module's laid out in weeks. So in this case, it's 15 weeks worth of study and around 200 hours of learning. So I'll take you to the introduction. So this is the week one. So we're just introducing students to the module and the community of practice. So we give them a little overview. And then we tell them what their objectives are for the week. and straight away we start to get them thinking about how to use an online module. Most of our students are fairly familiar with online learning, but not all. So this is a video that they can look at. It's a YouTube video, but it's about thinking about online learning and how that differs from face-to-face learning. So the videos are all embedded in Moodle. And now we get them to do what you guys have just been doing. So we tell them a bit about the community of practice, what the theory is behind it, and ask them to register. And now we get, this is the first activity. So their first activity is to register, just like you have done, and post a message. And then their second activity is that they have to watch some videos, and this chap here is Etienne Wenger, and it's the community of practice is his idea. So these are 3 videos that the students watch. They're only 5, 6, 7 minutes each. They watch them to hear about what his ideas were and the ideas behind community of practices. And then there's a little summary. So that's week 1. So they've got an introduction, and now we get into some of the content. So not all of these weeks are populated yet, but you can see already that we're starting to talk about some of the theories around advanced dementia and some of the change concepts. So we tell them a little bit about what dementia is. They should be very familiar with this by this point, but it's just really a reminder. The objectives of the week again, being really clear about what they have to achieve during the week. Where they can get more reading. Now we're into more about advanced dementia, and again they should be really fairly familiar with this by this point, but it's always worth revisiting and reminding. And then they have some reading to do. So these are really key documents around advanced dementia, and they're invited to read all of them. And then after they've done this reading, they will be discussing their learning in light of that reading on the community of practice. Getting them to really think, well, from an abstract to a much more concrete. So that's the idea. These are all but how can I think? How can I use this to improve my practice? And then that's the best practice statement. And then we get them to do an activity on that. So we ask them to read the best practice statement and read some other material, and then go back and reflect and share and learn. So throughout the whole module, it's building to an exercise in the middle of the module around week 5 or 6. where they've got a formative assignment. So the preceding weeks build towards them doing a formative assignment, and then the second half of the module starts to build more around improvement, living with advanced dementia, leading evidence-informed practice, thinking about innovation and how they support evidence-informed practice and how they can research advanced dementia. So that's some of the specifics around researching with older people. And then they move towards a summative assignment. And that's how the modules will all look when we get them up in Moodle. So very interactive, moving from content, using lots of different artifacts to engage the students, to engage them with, we use YouTube videos, reading, different clips, moving them from discussion to written work. And they'll all look like that. So I'm happy to take any questions if you have any.
Any questions from the audience? Many thanks, Rhoda, for this very clear explanation.
Okay.
Anyone?
Okay.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it supposed to be something that it's going to be implemented the same in other languages into the academy? So which is, you were talking about the connection between the modules and the community of practice, or all the products that we developed in this 2-year project are supposed to be there. But is it going to be the same in the different countries, in the different languages?
I think the idea is that everybody works in a different context, a different education system. So I think it's really important that partners can adapt this to work in their own environment. So some partners, may not do online learning completely. So they may want to take some of the material and put that into some of their existing programs. I think Slovenia are going to do that, yes? Mm-hmm. So they may do that, and they will do that in Slovene, yes. So, Whereas others may take the whole module, I think yourself perhaps might do that, and run it in English and or Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've afforded the flexibility for each of the partners to take the material and either run it as standalone modules, and we're planning to run it as a pathway and part of an MSc as well, a master's too, and other partners will take bits and integrate it into existing education that they're already delivering. In terms of the Dementia Academy, it's what I think possibly one way we might go is to have a front where people can go, they can see the community of practice, and maybe there'll be a kind of education shop, if you like, where they could go in. And what that will do is they'll be able to see, oh, Spain are running these modules. Slovenia, I can do that here. Sweden, I can do it here. And they will be able to see what they can go and do in each of the countries in whatever language.
For example, the Portuguese students may go to the education shop in the academy. Yeah. And they will see what's going on in Porto, for example. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, I think that's the idea we have in mind. That's the idea that we have at the moment. That may change, but it is the idea, yeah.
Okay, so thank you. Thank you, Rhoda.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the audience? No? Oh, one question over there.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you. So one especially important in the beginning of your presentation was that achieving the change is the experiential learning basic idea. So I find this very important, and when we look more carefully this experiential learning basic idea, So it's a huge change of paradigm. How you really make your ideas and your thinking into action. Did you find it? So I think we are speaking quite much of how we reflect our ideas and our behavior, how to work with a customer or a patient. But do we really think what we are doing? Do we really reflect? So that's a good question, I think.
It is a good question, and yeah, I guess it will be different for different students how much they're able to do that. And I think some people are more reflective and than others anyway. But yeah, certainly the Achieving Change module, the one that we've just shown, the summative assignment is about planning a test of change and implementing that with colleagues and people with dementia and family and friends. So they will have to evidence as part of their learning that they've worked in partnership with people with dementia and their family and friends to plan an improvement. So they will have to demonstrate that to pass the module. Yeah, but it's very interesting, the whole experiential learning thing, particularly when combined with online.
Yes, and I think the huge change will be when we really change our used habits.
Yeah.
Yes, and we are all considering us as learners, also the patient or the customer or ourselves, all the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would like to add that in this specific module, as Rhoda said, there is a very important, a core concept, which is the word improvement.
Yeah.
And I think in this module, the students will be able to learn more about how to measure those improvements, okay, related to the topic.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No? Okay, now I think we need to move into the discussion groups.
Yeah, I'll maybe explain a little bit about that. Sorry, it's me again. So after the break, we're going to move into discussion groups. So we're going to move out of these rooms. That's why I was late. I was just getting the rooms, so I'm going to go and get those right now.
Okay.
Sorry, my mistake. We're going to move to discussion groups now, and then you'll get a break. Sorry, you got tempted by coffee there. Sorry. So we're going to move into discussion groups now. So there's 3 discussion groups. Now, when you came in this morning, you will have signed up for one. Is that right? Did anybody sign up for one? I'm hoping I'm going to see lots of nods.
Okay,
if you haven't signed up for one, we'll get you organised. So it's okay. So there's going to be 3 groups, and group 1 is around improving practice, and it's based on section 1 of the best practice statement. So you'll be asked to discuss a value-based approach to practice, and that discussion group is in room 2C20, which is just out and round the corner there. Group 2 is around family and friends, and it's in that corridor out there. You may have seen it on your way in, and that's 2SJ11. There's notices outside all the doors that will tell you which group it is. And group 3 is in 2C07, which is out there, and that's about future planning. So if you haven't signed up for one,
room number 7, it's in this corridor.
that corridor, that's corridor as well.
It's on this corridor as well.
To there, yeah. So our colleagues here will support you getting to each of the rooms, so if you're in any doubt, just ask and you can go. Now, each of us, we've very kindly got people from Alzheimer Portugal who've come along to help us here today, so thank you very much. Vanessa, Marta and Rania, is that right? Yeah, are going to help us, and they'll be each of them are going to be in a group. And the idea is that we'll start talking about how we improve practice. So this is very much over to you, and we'll help you and we'll facilitate you to do that. Okay, so we're going to move into groups now. All right, so if you can get your stuff and go to your rooms.
Good morning, everyone. Bon dia. I think that's the correct starting point. No? Okay. Good. That's good. Okay, good. My name is Dr. Tim Duffy. I'm the Assistant Dean with responsibility for international activity within the School of Health, Nursing and Midwifery at the University of West of Scotland. I was involved with Professor Debbie Tolson at the very beginning of this particular project in writing the project application. Since then, I haven't been directly involved, but I do keep involved on the sidelines to keep up to date with developments and with progress and with any potential difficulties. But I'm very happy to say that the project has progressed very, very well. We are now at the stage where we are pulling the project together. We're finalising documents, as you will be aware, and we are now looking ahead to the future. And part of the future is, for example, do we develop another programme, another project that we can collaborate on? But a key part of it is the sustainability of what has already been developed so far. So when the European Union give money for a project, they're very keen that we meet outputs or academic outcomes, and one of the key outcomes that they are focusing on is sustainability of the project. And one of the areas that we see as part of that sustainability is the community of practice, the academy, and Professor Eva Holmerova is now going to give us some ideas of how she sees this potentially developing and progressing over the coming months and the coming years. Eva.
Thank you, Tim. It is my honor to be here again. I think that there is one thing that we have all forgotten to mention concerning this project, that this project was shortlisted also for an award, for a Guardian Award, which I think is a very important thing, and it is good to say it here as well. So I would like to present, I'm a technical clown to a certain extent, so I will do my best to develop this technique, to open just the beginning of the presentation, if we can have, please. Yes, that's it. That's it. So in a few minutes, I would like you to lead you very, very briefly through what because I think everything was said concerning the project, and my discussion contribution is really not a conclusion, it is a discussion contribution, and opening the floor for you as well, because it will be very necessary and important for us to learn from your experience for the future of this project, for its continuation, and we are really very, very pleased that these discussions on best practice statements in all three groups were so lively, and all three groups, as we saw them, were really the best. So thank you very much for this work, because we really, really appreciate it. So just the partnership, Palliare partnership, because during the project that was called Palliare, we started to call this chapter of life of people with dementia, with advanced dementia, Palliare. The partnership of countries you see here, and it is a European project, and I have to say really proudly that only very few European projects, as we see them from different evaluation boards, I just come from one from Madrid last days, and so have really involved all parts of Europe. And look at it, how successful we are. We have Nordic countries, north, we have southern countries, south, we have Western country, west, and also Central and Eastern European countries, as the group is called, is represented directly with two countries, with Slovenia and Czech Republic, which is a very exceptional composition in the participation and partnership of this project. And of course, we all are very proud that we have participated in this project. Look at Palliare work packages. As we already explained them, literature review, a comparative analysis of dementia plans, learning in-depth case studies of experiences of advanced dementia, working towards consensus on European best practice statement, review on experiential and online learning, educational gap analysis, design of virtual community of practice, and the work with associated social media. It is, I think, very good result of a 2-year project that was performed. It's many things that have been achieved, including those educational models as Dr. Rhoda McCree presented them today. So I think we can be very proud that we have built already this small house, maybe a big house, it is not quite clear. But as you see, not everything is very, very properly arranged, and especially this house can become a bit shabby after some years, so it will need some maintenance of us, and it is what our discussion should be, or what now and also later, because we would like to have at least that. We would like to have a nice, cozy, friendly house, inviting all people who are interested in dementia, and therefore we feel that the important component, besides all others, because it is really cornerstones stones and basement stones of the house, the special role is that of community of practice, and which has been already created. But the roof could be Palliare Academy, its continuation, and we would like to discuss now in the afternoon, now with you, maybe during the lunch and coffee break, and also through the community practice and other media, how to create this Palliare Academy, because it is our vision for the future. As we have discussed it already, but it is not yet draft, it is just few proposals. It should be, again, education and ongoing Palliare focus, based again with learning what's new on the research, what's new in this field. And our primary focus, we should keep on skilled staff, both in health and social care, or both, as it is splitted in our Central and Eastern European countries, and more integrated, for instance, in Nordic countries. A main aim of the project, and I think it is very important, the sense that we are trying to keep. It is not only about education, it is not only about research, but it is especially about improving life of people with dementia and their family caregivers, enabling the best life possible, and also improving care. And we feel that it is important to involve other important partners, Alzheimer's societies, and we are very glad that in all of partner countries there is very lively collaboration with Alzheimer's societies, and we see that, for instance, Finnish Alzheimer's Society is here represented with us, and Rosario Dostzinka is with us all the time, so I am very pleased that the host country has such a representation also from Alzheimer's Society. It is important to involve academia, professional services as well, to be more involved and active in the formation and focus of this project, and also private sector and industry would be appreciated. And then we have to discuss which other countries possibly we should involve, primarily and secondarily, in the future projects or in the future collaboration, in the outreach of the project, also other organization, because we see the sustainability of the project only in its openness, in the future collaboration, in its inclusiveness, not exclusiveness. We never wanted to be exclusive, we just always tried to be inclusive, to involve people who are interested in this problem. We see the perspective also, of course, in ongoing involvement of present partners, and also looking possibly for other partners, regions, maybe also other regions. And last but not least, of course, is finding sources in other projects, creating business model, looking for sponsorship, etc., etc. So it is yet now open for our discussion, for our collaboration. And if you have immediately some suggestions now, you are, of course, very welcome. Do you or not? Should I continue now? I think we have enough time to discuss it during the lunch break, and you are welcome to get it to us back through media. And I would like to come to thanks, because I think it's much to thank for, and to thank whom. So I would like to thank first of all Professor Debbie Tolson, who was the just lead of the project, and it was her idea to put this project together. She called several meetings, and finally herself and Dr. Tim have written the project. So thank you, Tim, as well, very much, because you were the origin. Without you, it would not be possible. Then I would like to thank Rhoda for fantastic project management, as I already said. And I would like particularly also to thank Karen Watchman for her role in moving forward, especially the community of practice. And Leslie for her technical support. Of course, we are sure we were thinking with Tim whom to thank, and we are very, very sure that we have forgotten somebody. We would like to thank all who participated in the project. And of course, all partners, as I already shown, our partners. We have our Swedish partner, Amanda, a team led by Amanda, a Slovenian partner led by Simona. And now off the record, we have also the Spanish team. And I would like to thank especially the Spanish team, not only for their fantastic excellence in research, but also for investigating nightlife in Porto during the last conference. You were the brave guys. Thank you. Yes, it fits in qualitative research. Yes. So all partners for their skilled and friendly collaboration. Thank you very much. And especially we would like all of us to thank our Portuguese colleagues, Wilson and your colleagues here at the High School of Nursing. It was really fantastic reception, meetings and friendly atmosphere that you have created here. So you reached what you promised, and it was even much more than we expected. So thank you very much, Wilson, and thank all members of your team, because it was fantastic. Thanks also interpreters. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Eva. That was fantastic. Wilson, do you wish to come up and take on the next session? Or shall we? Karen's coming first. Okay.
So, we are approaching to the end of this conference. It's not the time to say goodbye, but see you later, we hope. Our feeling is that we achieve the main goals of this conference. And we will write some remarks to share with you. Thank you, Karen. You can speak, please.
Thank you. We'd just like to give the closing remarks for the conference. So to colleagues in the room and those watching on the live stream, we are drawing this event to a close. So on behalf of the PALLIARE team, we'd like to thank you for your participation and maybe just highlight 2 or 3 areas and key issues that we'd like you to take away. Firstly, perhaps to recognise the efforts of the team, especially in Portugal and in Scotland, for coping incredibly well with some last-minute changes, significant number of last-minute changes to the programme. So really expertly responded to and dealt with. And thanks to the flexibility of all the PALLIARE team. And I can genuinely say it's been a privilege to be a part of that team. So what we've heard is that the literature review findings acted as the foundation for the Dementia Palliaire Best Practice Statement, intended to guide practice and promote a cohesive approach to advanced dementia care. We've heard about a significant diversity of policies in dementia care and palliative care across Europe among people with dementia. We know that the majority of European countries don't have national action plans, and that national guidelines tend to focus on either palliative care or dementia, and there's very little overlap between the two. But we also know that knowledge of dementia and care and support of people with dementia needs to increase very fast, at a much faster rate. And this quite rightly puts governments under pressure to develop action plans, policy and strategy that should be in line with human rights legislation. The case studies gave us insight into the world of people with advanced dementia. That was a real reality check for us. It tells us the narratives of real-life situations. We learned what worked well throughout the case studies, and we've understood the potential and the importance of integrating the findings into the interprofessional learning solutions and the good practice that we then developed as our outputs. The best practice statement offers a positive practice approach for supporting people with advanced dementia who are not yet requiring end-of-life care. Designed for the qualified workforce to use within their local context and as a starting point to develop more work in this area of advanced dementia and to be used locally alongside other frameworks. We also heard about the lack of dementia education. We searched and found that none of the partner countries had undergraduate study programs focusing only on dementia. Some do have undergraduate modules that look at dementia, and all have generic programs, but perhaps we need to think about how we include dementia and advanced dementia within these generic programs as well. More of the partner countries have postgraduate study programs, and again, very few have doctoral study programs focusing on dementia. So we know that there's work to be done in these areas to educate the next generation of practitioners. The virtual community of practice was explored and demonstrated, and we looked at how you can join and how the online collaborative workplace offers a private access, private secure space for community activities and for shared resources and stakeholder interaction. So a flexible tool that offers a set of resources to continue the networking beyond this conference. The education models were written to support learning, and one model will link directly to the community of practice. And all are related to the principles set out in the best practice statement. Modules prepared at undergraduate and postgraduate levels, all of which have been validated locally in universities across Europe. Local events were also held across Europe to talk more about the Palliaire project and explain about the education modules. And finally, we discussed yesterday what's to be expected within the virtual Dementia Academy. And we hear your requirement that the person with dementia and their family should remain at the heart of how we do this, with the Academy having this overarching role to continue advancing dementia education across Europe, and perhaps also to extend our reach beyond advanced dementia to include other stages and other priority areas as well. Also potential for the Academy to oversee new training development and short courses, and to reach even more of the dementia workforce, with a quality control element there too. People from around 30 countries have been taking part in this conference by video streaming. So thank you very much for your presence. Very much appreciated. And we extend an invitation to work with you too in the future, as well as to those of you in the room with us. So on behalf of the Palliare team, and especially on behalf of Professor Wilson Abro and his team here, we hope you've enjoyed and benefited from the 2 days. We certainly hope that we can repeat other conferences in the near future, and thank you very much for your attendance. I do have one more task. Yes, I'm going off script, Wilson. Could I ask Tim to come up and join us again, please? We would just like to formally thank you for all of your work in putting together this conference. And Tim would like to do the honours.
I cannot believe.
Oh, he's just dropped it.
It's crystal glass. Wilson, we've worked for many years, I think over a couple of projects. Thank you very much on behalf of the
Thank you very much. So, eu nessas coisas depois não sabemos o que dizer. Well, we are finishing now. Thank you for your gift, but I'm very proud to work with this beautiful, wonderful group of colleagues and friends. Thank you very much. Please don't forget, we are finished. Please don't forget that we have 2 more meetings after lunch. One is with the Palliare partners, only for Palliare partners, and other with PhD students. Francisco, where are you? Please, Francisco, your hand up. So, you will meet at 2 p.m. in the room number 20? 20, so. But after lunch, please, during lunch, you can speak about your connections, networking, about Palliare, everything. So, it was a pleasure to receive you in our school. This is our school. I think that you can feel like at home here. Em português, foi um prazer ter-vos a todos aqui. Sabem que eu sou coordenador da área da saúde mental e prometo, vocês são testemunhas, que aquilo que foi transmitido aqui na sala pode ser utilizado nas próximas sessões. Eu agradeço imenso aos responsáveis dos hospitais, dos serviços que aqui estão e que trabalham connosco e que recebem os nossos alunos. Por favor, lembrem-nos sempre que aquilo que aqui trouxemos e que este grupo trouxe deve ser partilhado na formação. Estejam connosco, precisamos de vocês para bem dos nossos alunos e dos nossos idosos. Obrigado pela vossa participação, foram excepcionais. E estes grupos hoje foram absolutamente fantásticos. Obrigado por tudo. The meeting with the PhD students is 30 past 1, not 2, as I told you. 30 past 1, okay? So, have a nice lunch. See you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah.